Hey guys, happy Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day. I know I'm late to the party, but I needed to take a little bit of time off to, focus more on a few projects I had going on these last, 3, 4 days. But I'm back now and we need to talk about something that I actually, came across literally today. And it's something that, I think not a lot of people are even thinking forward, so we're going to talk about it in a second right here because it is something that has the, possibility or, the chance of happening. And once it does happen, whew, we are looking at some pretty hefty, juicy gains here on the AMC Stock trade. So what am I talking about? Well, if you look at the quarter to date box office for the second quarter, remember Q2 is, second quarter runs from April to June. So this is the data for all of these quarter box office for the second quarter. All right. So look at how things were back in 2015, 2016, 17, 18, 19, pretty much all the way up before the pandemic. And then boom, 2020 hit, nobody was going, and then only the wretched grossed in total only 2.5 million because we were right there in the midst of lockdowns. And then 2021, we had A Quiet Place Part 2 and a couple of other movies, but this is just for the number one release. All right, this is just for the top number one release, the top release for that quarter to date. And so far in 2022, look, we have Top Gun Maverick already having a total almost to $2 billion, almost $2 billion just for this second quarter to date. This is huge, folks. This is amazing. It's a big deal because we are not only talking about a single movie here. We're talking about, if these numbers are what we are having for just Top Gun, all right, which is right now, I think at the very, as you can see, top release. But the thing is, we have a lot more movies that are coming or that came out and are supposed to come out up to this point till the end of summer. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have the very first quarter for AMC where they actually are disclosing that they are finally going back to profitability for just one quarter. That will be a huge news. So that is number one. And then number two, this literally means that the bottom line is the more gross international movies for top releases we do have, the more income AMC has. And the more income AMC has, with the good job they've been doing so far since last year at maintaining the cost and having, that huge share worth as cash on hand, which I believe right now is around 1.5, $1.6 billion. Man, they are putting themselves in a position to be able to return cash flow to investors. And that can happen in two ways. Number one is either they start paying a dividend, and we all know what's going to happen here when that dividend comes. Remember, in order to pay a dividend, you need to detach it and pay it out only to investors that own the real shares. But the problem with AMC is we have a lot more fake shares than the real shares. And that's why the price has been stagnating at ridiculous low prices, regardless of the amount of people buying and selling, buying and holding. That being said, in order to pay those dividends to the real shares, it will cause pretty much, a forced covering for the short shares and the fake shares and the synthetic shares available out there. So that's a very, very huge catalyst. Now, the other thing, if they don't pay a dividend, even if it's just 1 cent per share, they have the ability to, let's just say, put $200 million or maybe just $100 million. That amount of money, if they decide to do what we call a repurchase program, it's pretty much a company buying back their own shares. All right, that definitely will increase. Can you imagine $100 million worth of AMC shares being bought back by the own company? This will blow out the entirety of the shares out there by the huge buying pressure, and it will give a strong signal. It will send a strong signal to the market because data shows that historically all the companies where that are putting money into a repurchase program, buying back their own shares, see the price share go up significantly higher. Why? Because it's an additional buying pressure. So just few things to go, to keep in mind. Remember, nothing is guaranteed in this market. And nothing is ever guaranteed in just real life. So it's not because we're saying it's very bullish that it means necessarily that it's going to happen. But at least I need to be hoping for the best because I'm not going anywhere. I don't know about you, but I'm not going anywhere.